Ready or not, here I come. You can't hide.
Welcome to the NPA National Championship play-in game. Number 8 ranked GTA Prep takes on number 9 ranked Rothesay Netherwood out of New Brunswick. With you is Tariq, joined with Elias Spate here of North Pole Hoops. Elias, we're a little rusty here, shaking off the rust. Last set of action happened in Windsor last month. And this is the first game, technically not of the tournament, but this is a play-in game. The winner will take on number 1 seed tomorrow, 11 a.m. at the University of Toronto, Mississauga. They'll take on Central Tech. But before we go there, before we go into matchups for day 1 of the national championship, tell me what you expect here between GTA and Rothesay.
I mean, this is going to be a tough battle. Everyone knows what's on the line here, and just making it to a national championship session is going to be a big deal. Rothesay is going to battle it all the way. Their psyche and what they're made of, in terms of from a mental standpoint, the way they approach this game. And GTA is just from a talent standpoint, very deep.
You talked about how they approach the game. Elaborate on that for me a little bit for people that haven't watched Rothesay before. Kind of take me through their roster. I know they got a huge piece that's missing with them in Andrew Milner.
Yeah, Andrew Milner is a University of Calgary commit. Who's a vital piece to this team. They do have other guys who have stepped up while he's not here, out with a concussion. Yep. But Mac Bagnell, the 2020 guard, is going to get a lot of minutes in this one. And they're going to really look on Will Spalding, the Carleton commit, to really do a lot of the damage. This is a team that takes after the psyche of Coach Damian Gay and Josh Richards. These guys, they battle. They fight right to the end. It doesn't matter if they're down 15, up 20, doesn't matter.
That was A.J. Lawson, also rusty, way off on that 3. University of Oregon offer on the table, his first NCAA offer. 6'7" guard in the class of 2019. One of the future stars coming out of Canada. Without a guy like Andrew Milner, they're going to be putting a lot of pressure on Will Spalding. Yes, he could jack it, but he's going to have to create his own right now, matched up against the length of Lawson. Spalding on the attack is met by Brandon Liver. Good defense there. Spalding on the other end guarding Lawson. That's a nice matchup right there. Lawson on the attack, gets by, misses at the rim, and here comes Spalding. Spalding, of course, Elias, committed to the University of Carleton.
And Carleton will be in attendance this weekend along with a plethora of Canadian universities who will be watching on to scout, for future years, as well as some of the seniors that we have playing this year. I think, a hot name that's been traveling across the NCAA at the Division I level, Keenan Dowell, a kid that holds a 95% academic average. I mean, that speaks for itself. So the Ivy League has taken interest, as well as other programs such as, Furman and other high academic, Elon high academic situations that are outside of the Ivies.
Yeah, for coaches watching, got to take a look at a guy like Keenan Dowell at 6'5", lefty, really good athlete and strong, and the toughness. You already talked about the academic side of it, so he kind of checks off on everything that you want in one of those bigger guards that can stretch the floor with his shooting ability. Keenan Dowell, one of the top uncommitted prospects in the country. And as you mentioned, Carleton University will be in attendance. Among other CIS programs, they'll get a chance to check out what's still available in the class of 2017. Lots of good matchups for the first round. at the national championship tournament. As mentioned, the number 1 ranked Central Tech Blues will face the winner of this game. But we have number 2 Toronto Basketball Academy taking on number 7 Notre Dame, and there's some intrigue there because Notre Dame's 2-0 against TBA. Then you have the number 3 and number 6 matchup. That is a big one. Canada top flight, the number 3 seed, taking on the provincial champion St. Mike's Blue Raiders.
And St. Mike's is really looking to add to the resume. They're coming off of an OFSA championship, of a provincial level Ontario championship, and you know they're not far-fetched from picking up a national title as well. And right here, it's 2 straight turnovers and scoring right off of those.
And RNS has to be careful, have to be able to break up the pressure, as mentioned, without their top primary ball handler in Andrew Milner. You do have to give credit, though, to Coach Damien Gay, looking sharp on the sideline. Could win best dressed from the coaching standpoint.
I don't know. I think Coach Adam Huffman from Notre Dame will have something to say about that. He usually comes correct, pretty sharp with the tailored suit.
Huffman's got something to say. We'll get a chance to see them, as I mentioned, take on TBA. The one matchup I have not mentioned, as Spalding lets it loose, is the number 4 BC Christian. BC Christian taking on number 5 London Basketball Academy. Speaking of well-dressed, here's David Cooper, coach at GTA Prep, clean-shaven. Every time I see him, Elias, he's got one of the cleanest shaves. He's shaking like on a daily basis with that cue ball.
Shaking, gilletting, I don't know what he does, but I gotta figure out his secret too, because we got similar.
Yeah, we know about that.
Yeah.
You're losing the fight there to Mother Nature. And we got Rothesay Netherwood on the board with the last 3. Put back there by AJ Lawson. Gets it to 10-3. 9 minutes left in the first quarter. Play-in game here. Winner takes on Central Tech in the National Prep Championships. First ever. History in the making here.
And in this game, Tarek, they currently have Brendan Liver matching up against Will. Ooh, and a putback jam. AJ Lawson.
You gotta be careful, otherwise you got Lawson in the highlight reel. We'll take a short break. 12-3, GTA Prep leads.
Are you looking for exposure? Take your basketball event to the next level by live broadcasting with North Pole Hoops. Promotion, game film, play of the day, and much more. Email us at info@northpolehoops.com for further details.
We're about to jump into the deepest talent pool that we've ever had. In most recent history, we've seen guys like Nikhil Alexander-Walker, Christian David, Abu Kigab, Jalen Warren, all have phenomenal showcases, which led to an increase in their exposure and an increase in...
First quarter action, 12-3, GTA Prep leads Rothesay Netherwood out of New Brunswick. GTA Prep, quote-unquote, the home team here based out of Mississauga. And of course, where the action is taking place. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Got action all day taking place at the University of Toronto, Mississauga campus.
And Tark, I don't know what it looks like to me that both AJ Lawson and Jaden Campbell have put on a little bit of muscle since we last have seen them, and just a lot more strength in their body and their movements.
Definitely want to put that time to use. They had a couple weeks off. Others have as well. I know St. Mike's had a couple weeks with the March break.
Sweet move that time by Jaden Campbell. Spins off and kisses it off the glass. Will Spalding looking to break the pressure on his own.
Free ball there off for Rothesay. Here comes Campbell in the lane. Nice floater game there. And already still first quarter, but we have a 13-point deficit for RNS. And as you can see, Elias, without their lead guard and Andrew Milner, they're struggling right off the top with pressure.
And Jaden Campbell really doing it all. He's got 2 steals in the game and already 8 points as well.
And if you're RNS, you can't play in spurts. You got to go all out right from the jump. And we know we've seen them play with that sort of tenacity, but we need to see it for 4 quarters here.
And a great Rothesay crowd has come in all the way from New Brunswick as well. Representation from all over the country here.
Got Newfoundland in the house as well. A couple spectators from Newfoundland. Truly is a nation inspired.
And you know, it just hit me today, Tarek, when I was talking to a colleague, but we've been, so wrapped up in the day-to-day operations, we haven't had a chance to really think of what this means to the tournament and to the country as a whole. This is a national high school championship, the first ever. And that's history in the making. I don't think that we've fully taken that in yet, or that the entire culture and community has taken that in.
9 teams will have a shot at the national title. We'll take a quick break and be back for first quarter action.
Their recruitment, that is by nature what North Pole Hoops provides at these camps. But I want to put it into perspective on just how much exposure you can get in 3 days at camp. A report goes out to over 100 NCAA coaches, CIS, JUCO, CCAA, and most recently we're being contacted more by NBA personnel. Then there's 100,000 in viewership on NorthPoleHoops.com. Then there's the live stream that goes on. Bang for the buck, there is no other camp that I've seen in North America that provides this much exposure. My job as a national scout is to identify the prospects at camp and make sure that we track their progress throughout the high school season, the club, and AAU season. From there, we build a profile for them online through our database and make sure that these kids are getting ranked and seen by coaches who are subscribed to our service. The NPH Showcase coaching staff are absolutely a vital part of this camp. We got All-Americans, All-Canadians, guys who have been drafted to the NBA, people like Kyle Julius, who's currently coaching professionally, Mike Kabongo, All-American. They kind of set the foundation and provide the blueprint to these prospects that come in and are looking for exposure and development. Are you a top prospect? Are you underrated? Or just looking for competition? If you are, register today at showcase.northpolehoops.com. As always, game speaks.
Welcome back. First quarter, 8:15 left. 16-3 early on. GTA Prep with a lot of pressure on RNS. And in the event that GTA Prep pulls this off, they take on a Central Tech squad, number 1 in the NPA. And the last time they faced each other was a tight one in Windsor. And it's a really nice matchup there with a lot of athletes, length, athleticism. Both teams like to pressure. But before we get carried away, RNS is up against it. But you can never say never. RNS without their lead guard, Calgary commit Andrew Milner, who has a bulk of the ball handling responsibilities. Out of the break, Will Spalding aggressive to the rim. Cuts the bleeding. Good hustle, and you love to see the energy now. It's what they need. Rothesay Netherwood picking it up.
And they got to close out strong here in the first. Try to close up that gap a little bit and let GTA Prep know we're not going down easy. Will Spalding here with the rebound. He's going to be looking to create a lot for himself today. As we mentioned, University of Calgary commit Andrew Milner not in the mix. out with a concussion.
Good defense there by DeAndre Pierre, who finishes. His mixtape came out earlier today. A 2018 6'3" guard, combo guard that is. Loves to score it, but can also play make for teammates. Speaking of playmaking, Lawson finding Liver. Lawson to Liver, kick out, Pierre. Find Campbell on the inside, who kicks it out to Lawson. 3 ball and the foul. Opportunity for a 4-point play right there.
And good sportsmanship, although it's all on the line from Will Spalding.
Gotta stay disciplined with the closeout right there. A rare 4-point play. Misses it, but still a large margin, 21-6, less than 4 minutes to go. Those of you on the live broadcast, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you join us tomorrow at the University of Toronto Mississauga campus as Spalding knocks down the triple. Akeem Agee tries one from the baseline. That one's off. Here's Caleb Sully. They need him to step up in Milner's absence. Another turnover there. Here comes GTA Prep. Logan Mungle on the attack. Tries to go under.
And that's been the story of the first arc. It's been a lot of turnovers for RNS. If they can just limit the over dribbling and just move the ball, get themselves into position, I think they'll have a lot more success here in their offense.
Spalding facing pressure. Often he's going to be faced with that pressure all game long pretty much.
And Akeem Agee, who was guarding him right before that possession, he's one of the lengthier and more grittier active hands at all time. He's a tough defender.
Will remain Rothesay ball, 21-9. 3 minutes to go in the first quarter.
And as a reminder, if you're able to make it, starting tomorrow morning, we have Central Tech in the early morning game facing the winner of this game. So either way, I mean, Central Tech, you know they're going to come prepared, but these two teams at 8 and 9 here, they're battling for a spot in the national championships. It's win and advance, plain and simple.
3 games, and you're crowned with a national championship. All the way, Spalding tries to go. And Elias, Spalding is not shy from getting buckets. Now, that's one thing that he can definitely do, starting his offense from the perimeter and then utilizing that as a threat. I know when he gets guys off their feet with a pump fake. And he can get to the rim, but he definitely wants to look to shoot the 3 ball.
And the IQ there from Spalding, he's going to be making adjustments as the game goes along. A lot of the scoring really coming from him in this first half. I think he has all but one of the buckets.
Made his mark on the season early on, putting up a 30-piece against a disciplined St. Mike's team. A St. Mike's team that's evolved throughout the season. They're looking really good. Like I mentioned, coming off a provincial championship. Outlet to Spalding, he's on the run. Dunks it with 2 hands.
Infusing some life is Spalding from the outlet pass, 21-12.
And make a switch. They've made a defensive adjustment, changing into a zone D. And that's a good decision there for Rothesay. 23-12 with less than 2 minutes to go. Oh boy, Spalding.
And
He
that
will
one
not
was
hesitate.
just a rush shot on that one.
You know he's going to have the ultimate green light. He had it without Milner in the mix.
And guys down low for RNS got to do a better job sealing and boxing out. They're allowing for way too many walk-in rebounds.
Spalding up top. Guarded by Agee. As mentioned, Spalding will be heading to Carleton University. The national champion Carleton Ravens continue the dynasty in youth sports action, taking down the Ryerson Rams. Ryerson, another program that continues to thrive. Pitt recently picked up a huge recruit in Jordan Henry. Jordan Henry out of Pine Ridge, one of the top point guards in the country, former junior national team member. Here's AJ Lawson in transition. Oh! Was guarded by Sully. He looked to hammer that one down, but we'll get to the line for two.
Took the bump and still tried to throw it down. Good body control we're learning from him. And there are some deficiencies as well that, you know, I've noticed and learned as the season has progressed in AJ. And I'd like him to, you know, over the summer continue to grow in his decision making. There's a lot of times where the penetration starts and the defense closes in on the gaps, and he's got to be able to pull out and reset.
We're going to get an opportunity to see a lot of him throughout the spring and summer, playing on a very talented UPlay Canada program. Class of 2019, 6'7" guard. Here's Longo off the mark. "13-point game, 30 seconds left in the first quarter. You can rely on Lion McLean to hit a couple threes off that time, number 4 for Rothesay. Mungo tries another one. Here comes Caleb Sully. Something worth noting, Elias, Rothesay, Netherwood, they do not have a victory on the season, but you also have to take into account their youth, ultra youth. Outside Andrew Milner, who's out with a concussion, and Will Spalding, who are seniors, they're made up of 9th and 10th graders.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of promise there, I think, and a lot of these guys have already seen what lies ahead, has seen the type of competition that they're going to be dealing with. I'm really looking forward to see what this RNS squad who's coming back does with their off season.
Keenagee with the pull-up off the mark, and that will end the first quarter. Rothesay's pretty fortunate. They're only down, right now, down 12. It's far from over, that they got to bring a much better effort than some of what we saw in the second half of the first quarter. 25-14. We'll be back.
Tell me, is it something that I've done again? Say what?
Here's Campbell, look out, one hand jam, all the way to the rim.
That's what happened to make shit timeless.
up for a 3-ball.
Right on cue is Jaden Campbell.
For a lot of these unforced. Oh, goodness gracious. Jaden Campbell with the facial.
Welcome back to the second quarter. We are here live from Mississauga, Ontario. The play-in game, number 8 ranked GTA Prep taking on number 9 ranked Rothesay Netherwood. Winner will advance to the National Championship Tournament, tipping off tomorrow.
And RNS coming out in the second here with a different form of life. Seem re-energized, diving for the loose ball. You saw Caleb Sully hit the deck there. Ball remains in RNS possession.
Richie McNeil smothered defensively. Fortunate there, they pick up a call. Lawson Pierre is charged with the foul.
And with a gritty team like GTA Talk, this is a really good test for RNS regardless of what happens. I think it's, it's good film for players to go back and study and learn about how to deal with these high pressure, high octane defenses.
Richie McNeil, number 2. Another underclassman for Rothesay Netherwood. Same with Lyon McLean. Caleb Sully on the floor. Dawson Sutherland. A lot of youth, as mentioned, 9th and 10th graders. And Caleb Sully is one that you want to look out for as Lyon McLean knocks it down in the mid-range.
And Lyon McLean, Tark, he's a small dude, but he can get hot in a hurry. We've seen him knock down multiple triples consecutively, knock down that baseline pull-up, and if they keep finding him, he's quite able to knock it down. Liver, good finish that time. That's his 3rd steal of the game.
I like his energy. Went to the rim hard. I thought he was going to dunk it. He thought twice. Nevertheless, finished with the deuce.
And he's earning more and more minutes, as the season has progressed.
Nice bounce pass there by Pierre. And all of a sudden, we got a big run coming from GTA Prep. It's now 15 points is the deficit.
And Tarek, for GTA Prep, a big piece missing for them, both literally and figuratively. Nicholas Duncan, who has injured his foot, will be out for this tournament. A 6'8", 2017. You're ready to go. You're ready to contribute at the post-secondary level. Canadian universities have taken interest in him. And on your screen right now, we're looking at Will Spalding, a senior committed to Carleton. One of the best players coming out this year. Primary contributor here for RNS and kind of set the tone and the style of how they're going to play. He's able to get to the rim, has the pull-up 3 in his arsenal, can create for himself and for others. Spalding's going to be a piece that I think, by second year at Carleton is going to make a real impact.
Take a quick timeout. Be back for second quarter action here live from Mississauga.
A lifelong friend of those two. Oh! How about that nasty from Jashawn Henry?
Here goes the lob. Quick shot. And will they count it? Will they count it? AJ Lawson! Oh my lord! Full court pressure applied by GTA Prep, alias after a major run. It looks like GTA could just turn it on and off when they want.
And I like what I'm seeing from GTA right now. Very active hands from Jaden Campbell. I mentioned earlier, he has made progress in terms of his body and added muscle. But what I like about him most now is the activity level with his hands. he's that length of his. He's really able to pick pockets and maneuver in ways to throw the ball handler off.
You know, that last possession, Elias, Caleb Sully had a nice no-look pass, but teammate wasn't ready for that catch. A really high IQ move there by Sully.
DeAndre Pierre had a lot of time for that one. Might have taken that shot a second too soon. Lawson caught on the travel.
(33-16) is the score. Winner will take on the number 1 ranked Central Tech Blues, who have been rolling. They did get caught in Windsor though. BC Christian made a statement, getting the victory against the Blues, who were undefeated for pretty much the whole second half.
And how about that? DeAndre Pierre hanging in the air, gets the bucket to go and gets himself to the line. And Tariq, when we're talking about the development of players, you know, over the course of 4 months, then again 8, then 12, you're looking at a guy like Pierre who's now able to become a real perimeter threat and then can finish at the hoop with great body control. He's got one of the strongest cores that I've seen, because that ability to absorb the contact, you know, contort in midair, that's huge.
20-point game we got here, E.
And there's Pierre again, getting his hands in the mix.
I'm going to put you on the spot here, Elias. Lots of parity in this league, and you have a lot of different matchups. As we talked about, you got the St. Mike's Canada Top Flight matchup for the first round. You got TBA Notre Dame. You got London Basketball Academy, BC Christian. Who do you have winning this whole thing?
Ooh, you're going to hit me with that one this early?
Early.
Fair
and
enough.
often.
I mean, I really like Central Tech. I feel like, you know, they're just such a... Everyone on their bench contributes. Every single player that steps on the floor contributes for Central Tech. And then you have the championship pedigree of St. Mike's. So you have championship coaching experience with Kevin Jeffers and Central Tech. You have both the same with St. Mike's. And now the team that I feel is the newcomer who's established himself very well in the second half of the season is Canada Top Flight Academy. Personally, that's my team to win it all this year.
CTA?
I think yes, and I think that I wouldn't be shocked. Don't get me wrong. Anybody can win it. There's that much parity, but that is a team that I think has evolved on so many levels, and the role definition has become real evident. That is a team that I think could really pull this out.
Now, a squad that's covered up a lot of mileage in BC Christian, a lot of airfare, I should say. They're not coming here just to play some exhibition games. They're thinking national title as well, particularly after their victory over Central Tech. If someone put a gun to my head, I'm going to just make things interesting. We'll go with a little bit of an underdog. They are the 4th seed. I'm going with BC Christian.
I like that pick as well, Tark. And like you said, some of the later wins in the season that they picked up are really a definition of who they've become. Another team that's really turned it around after the midway point of the season.
And for the teams listening, probably some players, some coaches listening, are definitely going to use what we just said as bulletin board material. Carlton commit. Will Spalding with it on the baseline. Called for the travel, and they're going to need him to step up. They need more out of him. He's typically used to Andrew Milner feeding him and getting him set shots, but he's going to have to create not only for himself, but for teammates. A big test for him, Elliot.
That's tough to do, Tark. You're asking for a lot out of him. I mean, he has a lot of the majority of the buckets here for RNS. But like you said, if you got to be the primary ball handler, the leading rebounder, the guy who's making all the buckets, it's a really tough task.
They're going to need every bit of Spalding just to stay competitive, because you can't expect the young bucks to lead the way. He's the eldest on the team. 12th grade senior. I look for him to hear it from Coach Gay at halftime. And the team's got to come out with much better body language in the second half.
And Dawson Sutherland has checked back into the game, and I think he's one of the bigger bodies for this team. He really takes up a lot of space in the paint and has a strong base to be able to box out, and that's one thing we're gonna really need. Offensive foul, that time on DeAndre Pierre as he attacks.
But you see how this team is just a whole different. It's a whole different approach to how they're playing. They're not playing with much spirit, and that's kind of a tribute to how big of a piece Andrew Milner is for the squad. Not just as a ball handler, but also as a leader. As Pierre crams it.
And Pierre's got those bunnies, man. Unexpected, sneaky athleticism. RNS continuing to cough it up.
And it looks like, still first half, but it looks like GTA Prep is going to cruise here, and they're going to set up for a game against the Central Tech Blues tomorrow. Action starts at 11 a.m. at the University of Toronto, Mississauga.
That is actually going to be an extremely good first round game. Similar styles, if you really think about it, Tarek. Full court pressure teams, as we're seeing right now, really look, to get teams to turn over the ball and execute in transition.
Nice pass there for a cutting Dawson Sutherland, but a miscommunication gets it back to GTA. 5:20 left in the first half. DeAndre Pierre, baseline. Rothesay in a zone. GTA trying to find the crack. Good defensive possession by RNS there. Spalding to McLean, who pulls up and is blocked.
You got to be looking to go all the way in that situation. Whether you get the layup or whether you get fouled, you got to be looking to finish strong, just like Akene did right there.
Too much length, too much athleticism.
Too much sauce.
Too much speed for GTA Prep right now. And on the flip side, this is not the team that we've come accustomed to watching in RNS, who typically fight on every single possession. Oh, nice find there by Pierre. Finds the gap. Agui is the beneficiary.
And Tarek, you would hope that with GTA's youth as well, when they come off a win like this, a potential win like this, I'm not counting RNS out, but it is likely that they will go down in this matchup. GTA has to be prepared for a very, very tough opponent tomorrow. This one may be an easy one for them, but tomorrow is going to be hell on earth.
You're going to expect full court pressure, like you said, from Central Tech. They're a hungry squad. They're the number one team, and they're talking like they're the 8th seed. Still playing with a chip on their shoulder. Their coach, Kevin Jeffer, is going to find ways to motivate the guys. Try to send a message early on. Less than 4 minutes to go in the first half. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Join us tomorrow at the University of Toronto, Mississauga. Action tipping off at 11 a.m. Thank you to all our partners this weekend who will be in attendance. The Health Institute, On Point and Drew Ebanks, Mississauga Hoops, and the University of Toronto, Mississauga. Line McLean at the line. He knocks down the second. RNS in a 1-2-2. Off the mark there for three is GTA Prep, and here comes Spalding. Got a lot of work to do for next season with Spalding going to Carleton U. Gonna have to add some strength. Gonna have to work on his ball handling, but there's no question that he could really shoot that basketball. Line McLean. Nice pass on the back door to Spalding. And a nice East Coast contingent here. New Brunswick, Newfoundland represented here in the gym. Expect them there all weekend. Keenagee at the line for GTA. Lots of senior representation that we're going to see for their last time in high school basketball throughout this weekend. Our recent commit to Division I program is Cordell Vera. He's headed off to Florida International University.
One of the top universities academically in the United States and one of the largest in population. And obviously, you know, conveniently located in Miami.
And that's a great pickup for FIU. And there's a back-to-back buckets down low for Will Spalding. RNS trying to cut away at this lead at 26, and on the flip side, Agee expands it. A lot of miscommunication on the floor.
And again, really tough, you know, for Will Spalding out there and the rest of the squad. But, you know, he's trying to create plays and guys are just not expecting his passes. I think he's a step ahead of everybody else.
When AJ Lawson tried to throw that one down, cocked it back a little bit too far, perhaps. And here comes Jaden Campbell in transition. He gets one to go. Thunderous dunk for GTA Prep. Here's Spalding. You know he can shoot the three ball. Knocks it down. They're going to need a lot more.
And the lead now to 29, 56, 27 for GTA Prep. Will comfortably walk into halftime. Just a minute and 19 seconds to go here.
RNS has to play with more effort. Now they're better than this defensively, especially when they're playing that zone defense. But you got to credit GTA Prep picking them up, picking them apart all first half, finding the gaps, moving the basketball. We're going to have St. Marcellinus as well as Westview Secondary taking part in the national championships. They'll take on the loser of this one in exhibition action. Saturday and Sunday, both 9 a.m. games. And here comes Agui baseline with the finish. Spalding trying to put the moves on, loses it. Gets it back, pulls up. He's finding a little groove here in the second quarter.
And every ball in the last few possessions is going right back to Spalding. Didn't even think about it that time. He's trying to let him as much as possible fly. Two hands this time. AJ Lawson having his way with the rim.
They've made a long-term commitment. Lawson, one of the highlight reels that you'll see this weekend. Loaded with upside, 6'7" guard. Offensively polished. Still has ways to go as far as his physical development, as well as his defensive capabilities. But oozing with potential is AJ Lawson. As mentioned, picked up an offer already from a Final Four team in the University of Oregon. While we have March Madness here in Canada, got to shout out the Canadians doing work in the NCAA. Dwayne Notice for South Carolina, the underdog squad that have come a long way under the guidance of Coach Frank Martin. Dustin Triano for Gonzaga as well. 3 out of 4 teams in the NCAA Final Four with the Canadians. And right now, north of the border, Mississauga, Ontario, got a blowout so far at halftime, 62-30. Rothesay Netherwood fighting uphill battle.
The core, the six-pack, the elusive grouping of muscles that every single client is trying to achieve by running, jumping, or doing a million sit-ups. But will those million sit-ups really get you the 6 grouping of muscles that sit on the front of your body? With this video, we really want to show you that it doesn't happen that way. You got to make sure that you're doing the right exercises, and more importantly, you got to make sure that your diet is clean. That's the only way that you're going to have that six-pack. Take a look at this video, and you'll see which ones you should do and which ones you should stay away from.
They've always had quality intramural teams, so now they have their own varsity team in the OCAA, so everybody's pretty excited. You know, our expectations are obviously within reason. It's a first-year program, so we're definitely trying to build the culture first and then, you know, recruit athletes that are going to fit into our style of play. I enjoyed the OCAA game. I was an assistant coach at Centennial for the last 3 years. The fact that it was a new program, that was very intriguing. Just me personally, I love challenges and I like to build things from the ground up. Everybody knows that U of T is one of the best schools in the world. So the fact that, you know, you can be a part of a varsity program and then have a U of T degree, it goes a long way. You know, I just think it's going to provide a great opportunity for some of the local Peel region kids to know that there's a viable program just down the street. If, you know, they're more of a homebody and they don't want to go away for school, we have a viable program here. Academically, it's one of the best, so it's a great option for kids that are in the local area. To also be a part of, you know, the MPA championships to further basketball in this country it's exciting because everybody knows the last 10 years has been huge for basketball in Canada. So the fact that we could be a part of the inaugural championships is really a great thing for us.
GTA Prep wisely feeding the hot hand. Oh, nice step back cross through. And we got Cindy Kabongo on fire right now. Wow, really nice move right there. And come up with the steal. Oh, big block. AJ Lawson comes behind Shakami. That's the second block of the game. You love that effort. He did not give up on the play.
Cordell Vera finds Sukja Kelsey, who is wide open, but they're just running out the clock right now. Jace Colley! Jace Colley with what could be the dagger.
Notre Dame and Canada top flight out of Ottawa. That's another good one. There is Sammy Hunter flushes it.
Like what I'm seeing from him, Tarek, on this trip. This is a completely different guy, a completely different squad.
A pass that wasn't going to result in anything good. Stick, back, jam.
Shamile Shibitutu.
Woo! DeAndre Pierre all over the rim.
Reed steps up and really makes up for a lot of these unforced. Oh, goodness gracious. Jaden Campbell with the facial. Very quickly, they're really getting that TBA defense to shift.
Stick back jam, Chris Hagens.
E-man. Oh! E-man. Defense to offense. We got our first poster of the weekend. And here comes the raw wire, full head of steam. One hand jam! All over the defense. My Lord. Welcome back to the play-in game for the NPA National Prep Championship. GTA Prep all over Rothesay Netherwood, Elias, 62-30. Without their key cog and Andrew Milner at the point guard position, it's going to be a long night.
Spalding here again on the right wing. Looks the attack on AJ Lawson. Lawson gets him, clips him on the hip, and he'll look to finish a three-point play.
And they're going to need a lot of him. Like if you're Will Spalding, you understand that your running mate and top producer is out. That means I got to step up. This is an opportunity for him to shine, but also they need him to produce. And he has the capability, as we just saw.
You want to see him go out with a bang here in his senior year. And I think, to be honest with you, Tarek, I think you're asking more of him than he. I think he is giving it his all right now. The support on his team needs to step it up as well. They need to play with a ton of confidence at this point, regardless, and they have been showing that all season.
A collision there. Looks like they're going to call it a charge.
And it definitely was a charge. Defender got there a little late.
Oh no, they're gonna send GTA to the line.
And that's what I meant. I said the defender got there a little late. Sorry, I misworded that.
Pierre knocks down the first. Knocks down both. Full court pressure again applied by GTA Prep. This is where RNS will struggle. And Caleb Suley gets it up the floor to McLean, who's guarded by Campbell.
And McLean's got to turn and face as he just did on that possession now.
Sutherland. McLean to Sutherland, he bobbles it. Not his best game. We've seen him very active and be a factor in previous games.
Yeah, he doesn't seem himself today.
Nice anticipation by McLean. Nearly gets the steal. And Campbell comes up with it. 1 second left on the clock. But a nice defensive possession by Rothesay.
And McLean able to force that turnover. Again, another youngster for this RNS squad who will be looked on heavily. Nice backdoor feed. The slip from Spalding.
And Spalding showing the IQ. That's the third time in this game where he goes backdoor, seeing his defender overplay him. As we mentioned, top dog for Rothesay, Andrew Milner, out with a concussion. And you can see the difference that he makes on the floor, both from a production standpoint, but also just overall chemistry. The guys look at a sync right now. Don't look like they're on the same wavelength.
Yeah, and Milner, he sets his guys up. He's the guy who's the primary ball handler, able to make a lot of threes as well and make it shoot from the perimeter. I mean, the University of Calgary got themselves a steal from the East Coast. Atlantic Canada is being represented very well on the Canadian university level. Got guys all over the country that are producing, and Milner and Spalding are two of those guys that'll move on next year. And this RNS squad seems to have other Canadian university talent that's on the come up. A lot of work to do for these guys in the offseason, but nonetheless, I mean, we've seen the way guys have developed in just a matter of 3 months. It's going to be an adventure to see what they do over the course of the summer.
And speaking to the coaching staff, they use this as a great learning tool and experience. They talk about how, these guys are seeing a real high level of basketball with the speed, the athleticism, and now the kids are inspired to work and know where they need to get to. The same thing was said with Notre Dame, with Coach Huffman. He's seen some major growth in his team and also as individuals throughout the course of the season. Lawson at the line. They had a couple highlight reels in the first half. Knocked down that one.
Couple highlight reels, and he just got his second mixtape as well. Version 2.0 of Captain Clutch. AJ Lawson, you need a bucket in the crunch. He's your guy.
And that's why I think the matchup, given this ends up as a GTA win, the matchup with them and Central Tech is going to be an interesting one. It's going to be number 1 versus 8, but it's anybody's ball game.
Good recognition and good fight there by Brendan Liver as he forces a jump ball on the entry pass.
Off the mark there, a 3. Caleb Sully handling the pressure pretty well. And that's what I was thinking going into this game. With Milner out, I thought, Elias, that Sully would become a primary ball handler just based on his confidence. One of the younger guys, obviously, as well. An underclassman, but I think outside of Milner and Spalding, Sully would be the next guy.
And Sully's got, a ton of ball handling development to do as well in this off season, as he prepares to be one of the primary ball handlers, both him and McLean, for next season. I know also that the coaching staff at RNS has been really developing a recruiting list, a deep recruiting list.
Take a short break as we get an update on the score.
I'm sure, yet I'll hurt by much more, and I've got to explain that it's
Pierre when it rains, it pours. Wow. Right, hold up. Warren. Yes. He's looking unstoppable. Third quarter action. Welcome back. 68-34 blowout right now for GTA Prep. Up against a young and starless RNS squad, missing one of their two stars in Andrew Milner. Here comes Spalding to McLean with the pull-up. Rothesay making. In year one, teams across the country represented. British Columbia, BC Christian got the number 4 spot and ranking. Notre Dame out of Saskatchewan, they sit at number 7. You got Toronto representation with number 1 Central Tech, number 6 St. Michael's. Can't forget number 2 Toronto Basketball Academy. Haven't spoke too much about them, but they're definitely a threat for the title. LBA representing London, Ontario is the number 5 seed. And then another contender is Ottawa's Canada Top Flight Academy, the number 3 seed.
And I really like LBA as well, Tarek, but with that team, it's really a matter of depth, the amount of bodies that they have on the bench. I mean, it's been a short bench the entire season, and at this level and with the stakes being so high, you wonder if, as a basketball team, they definitely know how to play the game at a high level. They can definitely execute at a high level, but do they have the energy to withstand that many games at this particular stage?
Time will tell, that's for sure. Caleb Sully with it. Double team there, Lawson gets it. Forces the turnover, nice movement. That's the triple threat right there for GTA. Lawson to Pierre to Campbell. Crossover right to left, all the way to the rim. A little preview of the future. Caleb Sully blocked there again, only a 9th grader, ladies and gentlemen. .430 left in the third quarter. Join us tomorrow at the University of Toronto Mississauga campus. Action all weekend. Tip-off tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Tech will take on what looks to be a hungry GTA Prep squad. That one kicks off at 11. Talked about Cordell Vera, committed to Florida International University. Other commitments include, starting with RNS, as mentioned, Will Spalding will be heading to Carleton next year. Andrew Milner, who's out for RNS, will be at the University of Calgary. St. Mike's features Danilo Djuricic off to Harvard U in the Ivy League. Other recruitment news, you have Stephen Rawwire for Central Tech, picked up his first NCAA offer this season from Niagara University. They have a plethora of upperclassmen, Chris Hankins being one of them, a 6'5" uncommitted wing. BC Christian has Keenan Dowell, another uncommitted prospect out of Canada, 6'5" combo guard, the lefty. Notre Dame's Deshaun Henry also picked up his first offer this season. St. Bonaventure pulled the trigger on Henry, a 6'5" wing out of Saskatchewan.
And as we mentioned earlier, Keenan Dowell is one of the guys who are just waiting around for somebody to make that next move. He's had a lot of interest from the NCAA Division I level. It's just a matter now of finding the right fit. Coach is really scrambling at the NCAA level right now, trying to figure out, who's staying at particular jobs and who's moving on to another position. Who's coming in from JUCO, who's transferring. So that comes into play a lot, but I would expect that Keenan definitely picks up something. I know he's been very patient.
Yeah, it's really important to note when they make that, when these coaches, typically after the Final Four and the dust settles in a few weeks. Oh, there's Lawson. He's letting the dust settle tonight. That last cram, the third dunk of this game for him. But as I was saying, it's important that kids don't just jump into situations because it's the NCAA. They have to make sure it's the right fit. A lot of Canadian University as well, with solid programs, solid education. That's got to be a factor.
And more than solid, you mentioned the Ryerson Rams picking up Jordan Henry. That's a steal in our eyes. I mean, Jordan's a guy who's going to immediately impact at the Canadian University level. His ability to get in the cracks, ability to set up his teammates, and can score from pretty much anywhere on the floor. He's the best small player that I've seen in a long time, under 6 foot, but has such an effect on the game.
And there was a history. The Roy ran a connection with the national program. Jordan Henry played for the junior national team and was in part selected by Roy and his staff. So there's that familiarity there as well. And to continue with the senior breakdown, you also have Manel Ayal, the Australian kid for Canada Top Flight Academy, who's likely heading to Robert Morris University, as they've offered, and he's taking a visit. Nice pass there by Mungal to Jaden Campbell. You're right, Elias Campbell has added a lot of muscle. You can tell in his frame. Looks like a different kid. He's had his ups and his downs, but another 2019 prospect. Pierre strolling the park to the rim. Expands on the lead. Bounce pass to Spalding, attacks the rim for the floater and gets it to go there. 78-41, 3 minutes left in the third. And if you're RNS, you just got to continue to play possession by possession, not wasting any. And Spalding certainly not wasting any there. Hits another triple. Logan there, getting aggressive offensively in this game. Puts in a nice floater on the last possession. DeAndre Pierre sells the offensive foul, and he'll get the call. Yeah, you're really seeing Spalding here struggling still doing what he can offensively, but struggling as a primary ball handler without his running mate, Andrew Milner.
And it's tough to do. It's tough to do against a team with this much length, and he's actually wobbling a little bit, might have had some discomfort in his knee. I think he's done all that he can here in this game so far. And even the young guys, just a lot of inexperience right now, and it's showing on the floor with these turnovers. And A.J. Lawson continuing with that above-the-rim play. Signature cockback, as we've seen him time and time again.
We got to see something different. We got to see a windmill, maybe a 360. I know he's athletic, but I don't know if he's got those type of bunnies yet.
Oh, he does. He does. I think he's just being a smart player and not risking that type of play under these circumstances.
I don't don't know. I'm going to have to see it to believe it. (82-45), less than 2 minutes to go in the third. Still a lot of pressure being applied by GTA Prep. They come up with another turnover. 8-second call. Jaron Jones, 3 balls off. Here comes McLean, 3 ball. Can't get it to go. GTA Prep will move on following this game to take on Central Tech tomorrow for the first game at 11 a.m. Minute left to go here in the third quarter. Sully. Out to McNeil. Turnover there. Here comes Pierre. To Logan with the finish. And this one's getting ugly. Lots of steals. Oh, wow. Jaden Campbell. 2-hand, 1-hand. Flushes it. Both hands. That will take us to another timeout. 33 seconds left to go in the third. Take a quick moment to talk to DeAndre Pierre. He's had his imprints on this game. Playmaking, scoring, getting out in transition. A 2018 6'3" guard that can score from all angles. You can shoot it, you can score in the lane, attack the rim, finish above the rim. But then what I love is his defensive capabilities. Got a lot of length, got a lot of speed and hunger to get after that basketball.
He's a dynamic player, that DeAndre. He's he affects the game in a multitude of ways, and you find him at the end of the game fitting into all aspects of the score sheet. From steals to assists to blocks and rebounds, not to mention the scoring, of course. So I mean, at the next level, he's a combo guard. Hasn't really had a lot of time to play PG on this squad, due to the amount of guards on this team, on this roster. But DeAndre Pierre, for coaches, looking for a very dynamic combo guard at the 2018 class. A lot of athleticism, a lockdown ability. That's your guy.
Still got another year for GTA Prep. Part of the three-headed monster for GTA. Alongside Jaden Campbell, AJ Lawson. With another year under their belt, I mean, they're only going to continue to get better. Continue to add strength and skill. Coach David Cooper doing a great job with this crew. And you can just see the difference in size and length and speed from these two teams. And another steal. Campbell seems to just be finishing stronger. And I know he's athletic, but you can definitely see that added muscle mass, no question. I like it. three again. He's got 8 straight now. Khalif Sarrazin has taken over the fourth quarter. Sarrazin for 3, Elias. He has been proven to be one of the most efficient shooters in the last few games. Just makes the right takes and makes the right shots.
And he's a stone cold killer. I have not seen him change his facial expression at any point of the game.
Fourth and final quarter. New Brunswick's Rothesay Netherwood find themselves down big, 90-45, and GTA Prep showing no signs of slowing down. Got the full court pressure on. Logan knocking down the 3. Looks like GTA trying to send a message here in game 1.
I mean, they're definitely going to get over that 100 mark with ease.
Sully on the attack, all the way, nice finish there.
And if this message that you speak of is trying to be sent to Central Tech, I don't think that's a good idea at all, because they don't take lightly to threats.
Message has been received. Coach Jeffers, if you hear me. Brandon Liver with the hook game. McLean out to McNeil. Sully. And you're seeing signs of life out of Sully. He's been having himself a good game, quietly having himself a good game, but just too much depth, too much length for this GTA Prep squad. But I'd like to see Sully continue to stay aggressive here to end this game.
And the turnovers have been an area that have specifically hurt Sully. And as we mentioned earlier, you know, the ball handling is going to have to improve, be able to use both hands to split that defense. And there's another one, and they just keep piling on.
Liver was another finish. And Pierre is down. She looks shaken up. The Health Institute will get him checked out as we take a break.
Welcome back home, baby. We found out what was wrong.
Kyle from 3. Woo! He's going hot right now.
There he is again.
Microwave.
Don't mean to interrupt. Excuse me, Kyle Duke. Trying to hog the spotlight. We're just trying to give some other guys some shine. Kyle Duke says, don't forget about me and my Jace. Kyle Duke Simpson with a little step back Jimmy.
Baseline, attack, nice finish right around the rim.
Lifelong friend of those two. Oh! How about that nasty from Jashawn Henry? He is not messing around.
Jace Cawley out of Nova Scotia.
Jace Cawley, 2017.
Jace Cawley rocking the rim.
Fourth quarter, RNS down big. GTA Prep continues to roll here in Mississauga. In a lot of ways, they are the home team. GTA Prep, based out of Mississauga, Ontario. First-year program under the tutelage and guidance of David Cooper. Long goal for three, off the mark. Sully, coast to coast. And as you can see, he's been a bright spot for RNS, particularly as Spalding stepped out. Sully had himself a productive third quarter. Class of 2020. Under 5 minutes to go. And Elias, I gotta believe this is the only blowout that we anticipate this weekend. All depending on how that Toronto Basketball Academy Notre Dame game shapes up, which I don't see being a blowout, but just you have to think about the lack of depth for Notre Dame, and you gotta think about a healthy TBA squad. Keep in mind, 2-0. Notre Dame is on the TBA matchup this season.
And Notre Dame has transformed every time we've seen them, every session that they've come down for. Remember, they've made 3 trips to Toronto, have gotten a taste of the competition, have went back home, went back to the drawing board, and fixed whatever their weaknesses were. I think right now they're about 6 or 7 deep of guys that can actually contribute to the game at a high level. And right now we got Caleb Suley, who's just wetting it up. And the confidence has come in here in the fourth quarter, maybe too little too late. I think Will Spalding could have used a little more of Suley earlier in the game, and that could have infused some of the other guys. But it's good to see that the young stud is coming together here in this game.
Caleb Suley, 2020 6'4" guard out of Newfoundland.
We got to see him a lot with the provincial team. And you know what? A big shout out to Eastern Canada's provincial programs. New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Nova Scotia. I mean, these guys have been seeing them at nationals, and they've been doing an excellent job at just teaching the basics, the mechanics, the regular motion offenses, and just really building IQ before adapting and building the athleticism and all the other stuff, the exciting parts of the game.
Here's Spalding on the crossover right to left. He's met with length at the rim. Logan to AJ Lawson on the alley-oop. And RNS definitely didn't need this. Man down. Will Spalding on the floor. Not sure what happened there.
And we'll have our athletic therapist from the Health Institute have a look at him.
Grateful to have the Health Institute, THI, in the house. They'll be on deck all weekend at the University of Toronto, Mississauga. Short break, and we'll be back for the last 3 minutes.
Let's come on hard. These guys are coming for us right now, bro. What we're gonna do right now? We're gonna come get this dub. Let's get this dub right now. Let's go get this shit.
The two-handed slam.
Three minutes left. GTA Prep will move on to take on Central Tech tomorrow at 11 a.m. University of Toronto, Mississauga is the location. Join us tomorrow and all weekend at the Eagle's Nest.
And I think one of the biggest matchups that I'm really looking forward to is Toronto Basketball Academy versus Notre Dame. You know that they'll be looking for, TBA will be looking for revenge. To avenge those losses they took to Notre Dame. And Notre Dame, like I said, is playing some of their best basketball of the season. Hats off to Coach Huffman on the incredible run that he's been on and the start of this league here as a whole. He's been such an asset to the league as a whole and such a prime piece to the Notre Dame coaching staff.
Oh, Sutherland rejected there by Akeem Agee. They needed him to step up in the absence of Miller. They needed a little bit of everybody to step up, and outside of Suley and a little bit of Spalding, RNS has been close to non-existent.
And an easy gimme that time, no good. Winding down the final 2.5 minutes. This will be our one and only game of the night, but as Tariq had mentioned, tomorrow morning, it gets cracking. National Championship. 11 a.m. Central Tech versus GTA, who will go on from this game, winning the play-in game. That game will be followed by British Columbia Christian Academy, taking on London Basketball Academy from London, Ontario. Our 3 p.m. game, Toronto Basketball Academy, taking on Athol Murray College of Notre Dame from Saskatchewan. 5 o'clock, Canada Top Flight from Ottawa, Ontario, will take on provincial champion St. Mike's. We'll be looking to add another one and make it a national championship. McLean at the line, one of the younger guys for RNS, makes both free throws. And it's going to be interesting to see how this GTA prep team matches up against Central Tech tomorrow. Central Tech, a wealth of experience under their belt and a lot of winning this season. GTA, the complete opposite. Yet they match up well from a physical standpoint with their length and their athleticism. Similar styles as well on the defensive end. Tarek, have you done your bracket yet for this tournament?
It will not be revealed. Gotta keep it.
So the only thing that you have revealed is that you think BC Christian is gonna take this whole thing.
BC Christian's gonna beat LBA, I think, and then they're gonna beat. They're gonna have a tough road. They're gonna have to beat Central Tech, and then they will. I'm revealing way too much. You're trapping me in this right now. They could meet CTA. They could meet St. Mike's. They could meet TBA in the finals.
Oh well, you're not narrowing it down at all.
You're setting me up here.
Brennan Liver's got to have himself about 20 in this game. GTA Prep has had an easy go in this one. Liver makes both a senior, looking for a spot on a Canadian University squad. Just an absolute workhorse. Akene Agi with the poke, and Sully again. This is where he struggled. The ability to face up and dribble against a high-pressure defender. Creating space is going to be something that he's going to have to put together throughout the summer, but I got no doubt in my mind that he will do that. Has improved in every sighting.
"45 seconds to go. GTA Prep is 45 seconds away from getting their bid into the National Championship Tournament. They'll take on the #1 ranked Central Tech Blues tomorrow at 11 a.m. at the University of Toronto, Mississauga. Final possession for RNS. GTA Prep player thought it was the game clock just froze up. Call that good sportsmanship. And that will be it. 116-67 is the final here from Arundel Secondary. Join us tomorrow at UTM. Action kicking off at 11 a.m.